Hi, Questers. Welcome back to the channel. Let's bring the mic in. Okay, so I just rewatched The Tomorrow War. And what do I think? I think you should hit that thumbs up and give us that like. And I think you should subscribe and hit that bell icon, select all of the notifications so you don't miss any upcoming content. And I also think that, yeah, you should comment down below. But other than that, The Tomorrow War was an outstanding movie. It's outstanding. I mean, has Chris Pratt actually been in a bad movie? Has he? Answer me down below. Has he been in a bad movie? A lot of people would say that the Lost World trilogy was a trilogy of pretty bad movies. It's like, well, they're not the best, but when you're trying to compete with the previous movies like Jurassic Park, it's difficult because at the time Jurassic Park was outstanding. It holds up even now. There are a lot of people on YouTube that have actually made videos of them redoing the effects and looking so much better. But I mean, they're doing it with modern day technology. They're not doing it with the tech that was available at the time it was made. So it's kind of pointless for them to do it. But they do. They get plenty of subscribers. They get plenty of views, and and people seem to like it that they do it. I can't do that. I don't know what I'm doing if it comes to that. So what I'm going to say is there there is nothing bad about this movie. This movie is outstanding. Not great. It's an outstanding movie, which means it's extremely good. But as far as I'm concerned, there hasn't been a great movie because if I was to say this movie is great, then a movie will come along and replace it and it will be great as well. So there's no point saying a movie is great because there will always be something greater in the future. So it's good, it's bad, exciting, it's incredible, it's amazing. They're fine. But when you say, "Oh, that's a great movie. It's a great show," it's not really because there will always be something better, especially considering the fact that the technology progress. So as the technology gets better, the movies have the potential to be greater, right? Which makes sense. But the Tomorrow War, if I was to compare it with was it The Edge of Tomorrow, that Tom Cruise movie? Now you see the thing about the Tom Cruise stuff is um, he was everywhere. Okay, Tom Cruise was in outstanding movies, but Chris Pratt he has been in outstanding movies. I fail to think about any movie that Chris Pratt's been involved in that is particularly bad. Um, so I mean, like I said, you comment down below if you think I'm wrong, and if you do think I'm wrong, name the movie, and I will make a video to see if you're right or not. How's that? But until then, if you haven't seen the Tomorrow War, I really suggest you go and see it. Or you see it on Amazon Prime at the moment for free with your subscription. There are other ways. I'm not going to condone them, but if you have those other ways, then you have a way to watch it. So I suggest you do because it is an outstanding movie. The cast was outstanding. I mean, this cast: Chris Pratt, Yvonne Strahovski, J.K. Simmons. You know, those top three names, and then you got Sam Richardson, and you got Betty Gilpin. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name, and it's just outstanding cast. Some of them I recognise, but I mean Yvonne Strahovski. I've been watching a lot of her stuff, except for the lovey-dovey stuff. I'm not much of a chick flick guy. I do watch the occasional chick flick, but that's only if there's not really anything else on to watch. So I mean, Yvonne Strahovski, she's a talented actress. She was actually in one of my favorite shows, Chuck. I don't recognize her from anything before that. So when I look back and I see that she's actually has been in some movies or shows up to that point where she was in Chuck, that was a great show. It's a shame they ended it. I hope they think about doing something. They could do a continuation. Maybe Sarah and Chuck have a kid, and maybe that kid ends up with the intersect in his head. But if you haven't seen Chuck, you should watch it because it is an outstanding show. I believe it's available in the UK on the Freevee channel on Prime. So there is a way for you to watch it. I don't really like watching it on the Freevee channel because if I'm paying a subscription, why should I be able? Why should I only be able to watch something with adverts if I'm paying a subscription? Now I can understand if Freevee was a non-subscription based way for people to watch content, which would make sense, but it's not. I think you can have access to it without the subscription, but the fact that I have a subscription should allow me to watch it without the adverts, if that makes any sense. Kind of like with YouTube Prime, YouTube Premium. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm a YouTube Premium subscriber anyway, so I mean, I can watch content without the trailer, without the adverts, and I can understand that the adverts are the income for YouTube and YouTubers, but at the same time, as a premium member, I'm paying for them. I'm paying money towards it anyway, so it doesn't really make a real difference. Obviously, you can't have. I mean, you do sponsored videos anyway on YouTube, which I think is the way you get most of your bulk money anyway. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, but I do remember a while back that there was talk about a sequel to the Tomorrow War, and as far as I'm aware, Amazon did have plans to make a second movie, but because of the C word that I won't mention, the pandemic, um, it was put on the back burner, and I'm surprised we haven't had any news about that. Um, I might put that question out there and ask people if they know anything about it, and if they comment down below, or or even send me a email. My email address is in the description. Well, in my about tab anyway, so you can get access to that. But it's just I had a thought when I watched it. When I originally watched it, I thought this is an outstanding movie. I loved it, and the visual effects were great. The aliens were great, but it left an opening. And spoilers, guys. At the end, when they blow up the alien ship in the ice. So if you haven't watched it, please turn. You should have tuned out when I said spoilers. So when when they ended it, they left an opening because it's possible that the alien ship would have like a black box. Now we all know what a black box is, right? When an aeroplane crashes, it sends out a radio signal that locate where the plane crashed and where the box is, because that's how we find out what happened to the flight aircraft in the first place, right? So I can imagine an alien spacecraft having something along those lines. Think Independence Day, was it Resurgence? Terrible movie. I might do a video on that if you like. But when they go on to the city ship, or what do they call it? Harvester ship? I think it was a harvester ship when they go onto the harvester ship, and that red light on the screen is flashing because only recently started. That is kind of like a transponder, or emergency beacon, or a black box, right? So it's not unheard of in sci-fi, and it would make sense for even an alien race to have some kind of locator for if a ship crashes, especially a ship if it's an important ship, because we don't know if the ship in Tomorrow War was an actual military vessel, or if it was just a cargo ship transporting something, let's say, like I don't know, their version of cows, because an alien version of cows might be a nightmare for us. I mean, there's been sci-fi show movies where they've actually presented that as an issue. I mean, I can't remember the name of it. I will think of it and I will do a video on it. An alien ship crashes. Scientists build a outpost on the island to study this alien species that they find, and the alien species is a carnivorous animal which goes around eating people. but the original pilot of the alien ship wakes up is also running around the island, but by the end of it, he actually says he actually is able to to communicate, and he says that we didn't know. We just thought these were kind of like they're basically the aliens' version of of a cow, basically, or a sheep. But they had no idea that this would be um, this creature would be so dangerous to us specifically, which made sense, and that's understandable. I mean, even in the Tomorrow War, it makes sense if it's like that. If it's an alien species that's got a cargo ship, they were maybe transporting maybe the last of the alien species, or it might have been an alien invasion force, to sterilize the ground. In other words, by sterilize, I mean kill off all life and open the world up to the colonization of the aliens, which would make sense. It's happened before in sci-fi, and it's a potential thing. It is potential, but if it was just like an accidental crash, an alien ship coming down at the location where the ship was destroyed, doing their little thing, investigating. Because I mean, it might not have set off the transponder in the black box until the ship was actually destroyed. So maybe it sent a momentary signal which allows the aliens to locate that ship, and then they come and find out what happened. Does that make sense? Because that makes sense to me. If you think about it, if it doesn't make sense at the moment, think about it, and I'm pretty sure it will make sense in the future. But I am hopeful that Amazon will make the sequel, and it would be nice if they get the original cast back as well, the ones that survived anyway. So if they could get what we know, Chris Pratt would do it because I think he was already slated to return anyway. It'd be nice if we can get Yvonne Strahovski to come back. Maybe she can travel from the future to the past and say, "Look, this has happened. The aliens came to see what happened to their ship or something." J.K. Simmons, I'm not sure. Let me just check to see what he's up to lately, if anything. Oh, come on, it's so slow. Why is it slow? Sorry, guys, my broadband seems to be pretty slow right now. Probably a result of what happened last night, which is why I couldn't do my Gen V last night. Okay, all right, let's try a different way. There we go, Simmons. Born in 55. Okay, that's fine. But it doesn't look well. He's busy. He's in Batgirl as Commissioner Gordon. That was completed. That's the one that was cancelled. Late Night Discovery completed. You Can't Run Forever. Spaceman. The Union, Red One, and Invincible. So I mean, he's pretty slated to be. He's going to be busy. So, oh, it was Mortal Kombat One, the video game. Bell's Gate. Well, he's doing a lot of voice work. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, he might not be available to come back as yeah, he might not be able to come back as Dan Forrester's father, but I mean, Yvonne Strahovski, maybe she could travel back in time. I'm pretty sure, because it's established that they can travel back in time, and it's actually the only time travel thing that makes sense to me, where they can travel to the future and then after 7 days they're automatically pulled back to where they belong, to avoid paradoxes or something along those lines, which is okay. I suppose it makes sense to a point, I guess. But but yeah, I mean, I don't think. I mean, the only thing Yvonne Strahovski's doing at the moment is The Handmaid's Tale, so she could be available to do the Tomorrow War sequel. But I mean, I don't know if she will or not. But the major role that she's done lately has just been TV series, so she's gone back to doing TV. So it would be nice. It would be incredible to see her on the in that movie again. I do like Yvonne Strahovski. I think she looks amazing, and I think she's very talented as an actress or an actor. Should be politically correct, I suppose. But Chris Pratt, I'm pretty sure. I think Chris Pratt would definitely be up for coming back. I mean, he did just finish the Guardians of the Galaxy for the moment, and he's finished Jurassic World. Although, will there be another Jurassic World style movie or trilogy or something? I think they will be. I think they're talking about it, about making it instead of the Jurassic, maybe the Triassic or the something like that, just a different time frame. So you got Jurassic dinosaurs in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, although you can argue that some of them aren't. But then you got the pre Jurassic periods as well. So maybe. So okay, so he's a bit busy at the moment. He's doing Cowboy Ninja Viking. That might be fun. The Electric State post production. Not sure about that. I'll have to look into that. Garfield. He's Garfield's voice again. Hmm. Okay. Terminal list. So he's in at least one episode of the Terminal list. Okay, but he might be open. He might be free to do it. I mean, some of this stuff is in post production, so it's in editing essentially. And yeah, okay. I mean, there's only one, so only Cowboy Ninja Viking is in development. So okay, that's fine. I've got no problem with that. Um, but I'm just going through this list. I'm going to go through and see if he's actually been in any bad movies. Right, go right to the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. 2000, Cursed Part 3. I know that one. The Huntress, yeah, I've heard of that one. The Extreme Team, Strangers with Candy, Path of Destruction. I mean, a lot of these I've heard of. I haven't watched them. Um, but I mean, no, Path of Destruction, that's a TV movie, so there's not a guarantee that I would have seen it because it might not have been released in the UK. Everwood, the OC, I remember seeing some of that. Walk the Talk, the Batman and TV series. I guess that's the animated show. He played the voice. Wieners, Wanted. Okay, Bride Wars. Well, nothing there screams out to be particularly bad. So I think I've just answered my question that I asked at the beginning. There's nothing there that's specifically or particularly bad. Um, Even the Lego movie, he played Emmett, didn't he? He was Emmett's voice. So, so he was only in one of the Lego movies. Oh, I think the second, there's another one in the works, isn't there? Another Lego movie in the works. But I think he's limited to what he could do whilst he was doing Guardians and Marvel. Okay, so he used Emmett's voice again. Okay, right. Okay. But I mean, like I said, I mean, there's nothing there that's particularly bad, in my opinion. Sam Richardson. Let's have a look at Sam. See what Sam's up to. Right, upcoming. He's got one project in production right now, and that's Sausage Party Foodtopia. It's a TV miniseries. It's an animated series. It's playing a voice. So he's not busy. If they choose to bring him back, doesn't look like he's been in anything that I've paid attention to be honest. Now here's an interesting one. The young lady, Rianne Kira Armstrong, who plays Chris Pratt's young daughter when she's young. Let's see. Let's see if she's got a busy schedule. She's got two upcoming: Maternal and Skeleton Crew. Oh, she's in Skeleton Crew. She's a talented little actress. It's going to be interesting to watch Skeleton Crew just for that, I think. But I don't have high hopes for Skeleton Crew. The problem is with Disney is because they own Lucasfilm, they'll be under the standard Disney license, and I think that or under standard Disney contract. In my opinion, the contract is flawed because they technically force you to only be in certain content that they approve or something along those lines. Because you can imagine what Disney are like. And if I'm wrong, please comment in section down below because I would be happy to. I would love to know exactly. Oh, so she was Charlie McGee in the remake of Firestarter. I liked that movie. I thought it was pretty good, but I still prefer Drew Barrymore as a Firestarter, twisted Firestarter. She's an American Horror Story. Yeah, 'cause I think she's got a talent. She's a talented actress. I think she can has the potential to go quite far in her career. What else do we have? We have. Well, I won't go to Betty Gilpin because she's It's a pretty minor role because she plays Chris Pratt's character's wife and mother of Yvonne Strahovski's character. Edwin Hodge, no, he can't come back because he died. Spoilers. A lot of the cast did die, so it's not many that can come back, but certainly the main three or four, maybe even five, could come back. I mean, Sam Richardson played Charlie. He was a bit of a character in the film, which was pretty good. So I'd say that the potential is there for them to actually do it, and I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, Tomorrow War came out about the time of the pandemic, so we weren't going to the cinemas to watch movies. So when it came out on streaming, it did extremely well. And I think that even if it was only in the cinemas first, and it wasn't in that period, I think it would have done extremely well in the box office. It would have brought in quite. I think it would have made quite a bit of money for them. But as it stands, Amazon released it on streaming. Um, but I think that was. I think they tried to. Is this the one? I think they tried to release Tomorrow World in the cinema, but because of the pandemic and lockdown coming in, I think they changed the plan and they took it out of the theaters early. I think to put it into streaming, and I think that made sense. If no one's going to the cinema for a reason, because they're being told to stay indoors and stay safe, you're not gonna. Why would you still release things in cinemas? Why wouldn't you look at a streaming service and say, "Look, we had this slated to go in the theaters, but unfortunately, due to the pandemic, it can't go. We can't release it because no one will go and see it." And then Amazon or someone would say, "Well, we'll put it on we can put it on our platform or something like that." Netflix and Amazon would have done that easy. I mean, especially considering the fact the film would already have been made. But I think Amazon made the Tomorrow War, so it was made for streaming. But I think that they did actually do something. I think they were originally going to release it in the theaters anyway. I can't remember if it did release in the theaters. All I remember is that it came onto Amazon Prime, and there was adverts all over the place. So, see, that's the thing. There's a lot of movies coming out that have been out, and they haven't been advertising it because, in secretly, someone doesn't want people to go and see these movies. But I think it's easy to make a sequel to the Tomorrow War, especially given the way they ended it. And I hope they do. I hope Amazon get their act together. I know they're doing a lot of work for getting Stargate and sorry guys. Whew. we're getting Stargate and RoboCop and Legally Blonde 3 on the go. It looks like we got some good news coming soon for Stargate fans. I might cover that at some point. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, we'll. I'm pretty sure Sidetrack will make a video on that, and I will react to it because it'll be important, incredibly important news. So right, that's 25 minutes. So I'm going to ask once more. I mean, I think you guys should hit that thumbs up, give us that like, hit the subscribe button, and select that bell icon, and all in that bell icon. And yeah, please don't forget to comment down below and give us your thoughts, ideas, and suggestions. Say anything, as long as it's civil. Don't be mean, guys. Don't be mean. And until next time, guys.